It's dawn. She wakes at first light, picks up her basket and steps out into the morning mist. As the sound of her footsteps receded by the minute into the distance, I knew this fever, this distress I endured through the night, would soon be over. My grandmother, my first nurse, caregiver, psychologist, and spiritual teacher rolled into one, has gone to speak to the leaves on my behalf. Like she does for our entire family, the answers she brings will help our minds, spirits, and bodies. I cover up properly as another wave of sleep drifts me into the world of dreams. It begins with her hands, wrinkled, weathered, yet impossibly gentle. They move through the morning mist, brushing over nettles, sage, and rosemary. My grandmother doesn't speak as she works, she hums. A tune older than language. The basket on her hip fills slowly, reverently. Each herb she gathers is not just for tea or tincture, it's a prayer, a memory, a communion. Long before pharmacies, long before paper prescriptions, our ancestors turned to the earth for healing, and they did so with reverence. In African spiritual traditions, plants like kola nut and neem were not merely medicinal but integral to ritual. They were offered to ancestors, used in divination or infused in spiritual baths to cleanse the soul. In Ayurveda, the ancient Indian science of life, herbs are classified not just by physical effects but by energetic properties, cooling or heating, grounding or elevating, and their impact on the soul's journey through karma and dharma. Among the Maya and Aztec, plants such as cacao and peyote were seen as divine teachers used in sacred ceremonies to access spiritual realms. Similarly, indigenous peoples across the Americas use sage, sweetgrass, tobacco, and cedar not just to cleanse the body but to purify space and invite spiritual presence. These aren't superstitions. They are sophisticated systems of wisdom passed down through centuries of lived experience, oral tradition, and spiritual insight. In Celtic lore, herbs like mugwort were associated with dreams and prophecy. In China, traditional Chinese medicine weaves herbs into the flow of qi, the life force that animates all existence. And in each of these traditions, herbalism was not just practical, it was profoundly personal, often matrilineal, and imbued with spiritual responsibility. Healing was not mechanistic, it was more relational and more integrated than that. Today, in an age of biomedical precision devoid of feelings, we often ask, what's the active compound? We seek measurable efficacy, and this is not wrong, but it is incomplete. Every true mystic and spiritual seeker recognizes that reductionism, the idea that healing can be fully explained by crude physics and chemistry, is a half-truth. Traditional herbalism doesn't separate plant from prayer, intention and ritual matter. A cup of chamomile brewed with care and gratitude carries a different energetic weight than a mass-produced extract presented on a shop shelf. Why? Because in spiritual traditions, healing isn't just about the physical ingredients, it's about how the plant is gathered, why it is offered, and the state of consciousness of the one who gives and receives it. Take sage, for example. Science shows it has physical antimicrobial properties. But for indigenous cultures, burning sage, smudging, is an act of spiritual cleansing, a way to shift energy, not just sanitize air. Is that not spiritual antibiosis one way or another? Or consider lavender, admitted by science today to reduce anxiety. Traditionally, it was also used to ward off evil and invite spiritual peace. Does this not demonstrate the vibrational anti-anxiety property of the herb on the spiritual as well as physical plane? Where then is the contradiction in divine order? This doesn't mean science is wrong. It means that spiritual traditions recognize that the energies in these plants exhibited consistent properties and remained faithful to their inherent essence down through the planes of existence, from spiritual to physical, long before modern science quantified them. And they approached those truths holistically. They saw herbs not just as remedies, but as spiritual allies, beings with consciousness and wisdom. An inherent wisdom that makes lavender adapt itself to the needs of the particular spiritual plane it is called to provide service on. In this instance, providing peace in the astral world of dreams and visions, and, if called upon on the physical plane, providing relief from anxiety arising from a purely physical event, all with the same efficacy. After fighting ancient wisdom for centuries, modern psychology and neuroscience are beginning to echo these insights. Psychoneuroimmunology, a field that studies the mind-body connection, shows us that belief, ritual, and emotion change the way we heal. When we engage with herbs spiritually through ritual, prayer, or gratitude, we're not engaging in wishful thinking. We're triggering real physiological shifts in hormones, immune function, and neural pathways. That is both a significant admission from science and an open vindication of the wisdom of the ancients regarding the use of herbs and ritual in healing. Yet we live in a time when spiritual disconnection is epidemic. Depression, anxiety, and burnout, these are not just personal struggles. They are symptoms of a world that has severed its roots from divine nourishment, leaving the human organism starving of deeper meaning on many levels. Modern medicine, though life-saving, often feels impersonal. In most medical consulting rooms, you're a chart, a symptom, a billable hour, a passing statistic. In contrast, herbal medicine invites slowness, it summons presence, it encourages relationship. It says healing is not something done to you, it is something you participate in. This is why so many are returning, not just to natural remedies, but to spiritual herbalism. We're seeing the rise of herbal apothecaries, community gardens, forest bathing, and ancestral medicine practices. People are reclaiming the sacredness of the earth, not as an aesthetic, but as a necessity, and it goes deeper. This resurgence isn't just about personal wellness. It's about spiritual ecology, the understanding that our spiritual health is intertwined with the health of the planet. To heal ourselves, we must heal our relationship with the earth. Herbalism, then, becomes a spiritual practice of reciprocity. We take from the earth with thanks. We give back to her with care. That cycle is eternal, even inescapable. For in due time, our bodies must return to her bosom. To deny that truth is infantile escapism. Decades have passed since my grandmother left this plane, but every now and then, I return to the forest. Not the one of my childhood, but a new one, near where I live, but older still. I kneel by a patch of lemon balm, and I remember how my grandmother would press its crushed leaves to my temples when I couldn't sleep. I touch the plant, and I don't ask what its active compound is, I only listen. In that listening, I hear something ancient yet also familiar and soothing. A whisper that says, "You belong here, you do not walk alone, I remember you, the earth remembers you, we were made to cocoon you, made for that before you were even created." This is the true place of herbal treatments and spirituality. Not as replacements for modern medicine, but as an older partner in progress with much to teach. As bridges between body and soul, between earth and sky, and between self and other. In every herb there is a vibrant history. In every leaf there hides a lineage. And in every healing moment, a chance to return to the sacred rhythm we've forgotten, but not lost. The best thinkers do not merely analyze the data in leaves and herbs. They listen to the unspoken language, they also whisper. They recognize that truth is often carried in the hands of grandmothers. Carried in the ageless myths of the forgotten and in the loaded silence of the trees. Herbal treatments, when rooted in spirituality, are more than the sum of their parts. They are poems written in chlorophyll. They are prayers disguised as plants. They remind us that healing is not linear, it is cyclical, relational, and deeply sacred. And we live in a time that desperately needs this remembering. In reconnecting with the spiritual use of herbs, we are not rejecting science, we are completing it. We are saying that healing cannot be fully understood without the fragrance, guidance, and participation of the soul. So as you gather your mint, as you brew your tulsi, as you burn your sage with gratitude, or as you kneel at the edge of the forest and listen while gathering these herbs. Know that there is a wisdom here that cannot be synthesized, only felt. Because in every root that grounds, in every flower that lifts the spirit, and in every leaf that softens the ache, there's a whisper from the divine asking us to return to the sacred. And maybe, just maybe in so doing, also return to ourselves. What herbs in your vicinity will you reconnect with today, and what healing benefits do they provide? Drop a comment below. Also, don't forget to appreciate our efforts by hitting that subscription button. It not only encourages us, but lets you be the first to get future exciting content. Please like and share as well, so the algorithm can disseminate this knowledge as far as possible. Until our next video, remain renewed and blessed on all levels.